Scottie Scheffler is the 2025 PGA champion. Let's do it. Damn! Oh my God! Best player in the world, guilty as charged. We're back, baby. It's a bonus episode coming to you live after the PGA Championship, and our boy Scottie Scheffler has gotten it done. He has won the 2025 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Gentlemen, how we feeling? How's it going out there?
Feeling great. This is great. Another Nike win. 2 majors so far, 2 Nike win majors. So that is a great way to start for this Nike golf year. Scotty winning. I watched every shot. Thank God. I was trying to find Saturday. I was trying to find some platform to watch it on. I know it was on CBS. I really don't have cable here because we try to stay away from that stuff. So it's just App City. So I finally found it. So Sunday, I was glued to the TV the whole time. It was great to see him win. Like to get you guys' reaction too. I know we're going to get into it, but did you think it was going to slip away at all? I know we'll get into it a little bit, just the way it is, but we all have those moments during our rounds, I think, where you kind of maybe lose focus for a little bit, but I know we're going to get into it. Matt, I know you've been golfing. You look like Phil Mickelson out there sometimes with those calves. When do you have time to work out and stuff on the road all the time? Like, what's going on?
It's because if I'm not sitting in a car, I'm standing up at an event. I'm on my feet all day. But you know what's funny is I remembered Rory on day one of the Masters did not finish like in the top 10. And they're like, there's been no champion that's ever finished top 10. So like when Scotty had the mud ball, that was the first round, right? The mud ball.
Yeah, that was.
And I will tell you, it's funny because the couple days before that, so like 4 or 5 days before that, I had one of the worst rounds of my life. I had like 2 consecutive rounds of like, when my short game goes bad, I just get down in the dumps.
The worst.
I'm just, you're 70 yards on a drive from the green and, you airmail it. That's been the story of my past decade. But I let it spiral. I really let it spiral. And something that Scotty said about the mud ball was that they work their whole lives to control distance. And that made me think they're not trying to get more distance. And I have a tendency to swing too hard. He's using tempo and deliberate movements to control distance. And it totally changed. I had a great round on Sunday, played really, really well, got out there. So thanks to that. And I'm like you, I had to get on CBSSports.com, watched it live on the iPad while I was grilling. So
that's what I was doing.
But it just goes to show there's something like people are like very, very blah about Scotty winning sometimes. And it's like, and I'm very careful about saying that this is like Tiger-esque because look, it's only his third major. He's been on an epic run the last 3 years when you combine all 3 years and the PGA wins and stuff like that. But this is what happens when you have a great player is that the other players melt away because I think it was Rahm was tied.
Rahm had forced him to like going into 10. Rahm had tied him with like I think 2 or 3 consecutive birdies. Like he had made a little bit of a run, and Scotty had just bogeyed, kind of come back to the field a little bit, and had the lefts going on hard. And so, but he still had like two to three holes like to like catch up to Rahm. So at that point in time, though, guys, I can tell you, I told my wife like. She's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm irrationally angry about a golf tournament right now because I was getting nervous that like he was gonna lose it. I had also placed a large wager, but I had the most money that I've ever placed on a bet, which was $20 on Scotty to win. It paid out. I didn't cash out early. It paid out 100, so that's pretty good. But I was like, damn, like I should have cashed out earlier, whatever, But I got a little bit nervous, and then I hear the announcers on 18T. He can make a 9 on this hole and still.
Jim Nance went crazy on that
that's
one.
Pretty good.
That was a good one.
There was that point, I think, when Rahm was close to tying him or had tied him, they said Scotty's won over on the day at that point.
He was. So I think you're right. I think they had this discussion on Get Up this morning and on ESPN radio, and like they don't think Scotty's the face of golf and he doesn't have the personality for it. Why not? Dude is as cool as a cucumber. He is chill. He is a family man. He's got Bennett in the post-round scorer's tent with him, throwing down a hat in the yardage book for something to play with. We're all dads here. We know what that's like. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get where they're coming from. I do. And it's radio and it's sports talk. So they're just coming up with storylines to come up with storylines. But like, I don't know if I agree. And yes, he's not Tiger. He's not polarizing. He's not flashy, but like, man, there's something about him that like is like that you want to model your game after. Maybe it's not the footwork, maybe it's not the thing, but like he literally flipped a switch on 10 and stripe after stripe after stripe to finish that back nine. And let's remember Saturday going 5 under in his last 5 holes to put the Green Mile to shame. Let's say, you know what I mean? Like that's when he won the tournament right there. So, and again, let's not forget 54 hole leads, 7-0 right now.
Good stat there.
Yep.
Yep.
I think two things come to mind for me. I think one thing for me, Scotty is now a smiling assassin to me. When I see
Mm-hmm.
Max Homa and I forgot who the third playing partner was, just slumped over after a hard day at work, and here's this guy just smiling, and it's somebody like somebody said like
Siwoo. Siwoo
because
Kim.
of his
Oh,
faith.
see
Yeah,
with them. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, because of his faith. If he has a bad round, he goes home to his kid and wife, he's fine. If he has a great round, goes home to his wife and kid, he's fine. Like it doesn't bother him to have a great round or a bad round. And it
Yep.
reminds me a lot of like Roger Federer. Roger Federer said, before he went on his epic run, he used to be a hothead. And I think Ted Scott said the same thing before he joined Scotty, that Scotty was a hothead.
Mm.
And whatever he's doing that makes him maybe like a little too even keeled for everybody, it's working. And to quote Tiger, winning takes care of everything. The
Yeah.
more this guy wins, the more he will become the face of golf, I believe.
And he has that fire, right? He won, and you're like, where's the big celebration, right? Like he just hugs Teddy, he literally puts the ball in, he hugs Teddy, and then all of a sudden it comes out, right? And he's throwing the hat down, and he's fist pumping, and he's letting it out, and you're like, who is this guy, right? Like
Right.
that's the face right there.
I
That
don't
is
know
the
if you guys,
fire.
yeah, and I'll tell you, like, it reminds me of like when I played tennis in college or in high school even, right? And you play tennis one on one, and sometimes you play a guy that is so much better than you. There's nothing you can do. You can't, it's not like basketball where you could trash talk him and get him out of his game. Like some guys are just so good, and that's what his short game is to me. I think that's the best part of his game. That's the part that I love to watch because it just saves him time and time again. And you might not notice it, but it saves a par. It saves a par. Then all of a sudden those become birdies. And I think that's what the reason he's so great at Augusta is that
Mm-hmm.
short game. It's just absolute killer
Right.
because every time you think the guy's in trouble, he's not. And it reminds this is the juxtaposition for me is when I listen to PGA Tour radio because I'm in my car a lot. So I'm
Yep.
listening and I'm hearing Rory's round. And Rory, we could talk about the non-conforming driver and all the expectations and all that stuff, but it sounded like Rory just kept getting bad bounce after bad bounce. Like he almost holes it out and it bounces to the back of the green or it just misses by a foot. But for Scotty, not a big deal. He's going to chip it close
Yep.
and steal the putt, right? Whereas like Rory doesn't necessarily have that in his game.
Well,
He's underrated at his short game, but that's it. So I don't know,
I
Keith, how do
think
you feel about all that?
yeah.
Like I said, we all thought that Scotty was going to lose it
Mm-hmm.
at some point on Sunday, but they
Not
threw up
me.
that stat. Yeah, yeah. And Gumby and I picked him in the winner's circle. So we go like, look at that. I was just like, that's
Yeah.
probably the first time. That's probably the first time I picked the right person in probably I don't know 3 years. No wonder we
Since
changed.
we
No one.
since we originally named it Keith's pick,
Yeah,
like you haven't won since.
I won the first one ever, and that's why we named it. And then thank God we
It was
changed it this
Scotty.
year.
Wait, did you pick
Yep.
Scotty?
Yep.
Yeah, we both did.
But no, they threw up this stat where his front nine all throughout the whole week. He was +1 on the front nine, and then he woke up on the back, and that exactly what happened on hole 10. The driver straightened out. He hit his little fade, and there was this thing on the PGA Tour. I don't know if it came out today, but it was a couple Tour Pro guys. Tiger was included in that, where they say that his misses are like Tiger's misses. They miss in the right spot, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's where Teddy comes into a lot of plays, where you have a good caddy and be like, "Hey, we're gonna go right at the pin, but here's the spot to aim at in case you miss it." And that's where Matt, you were saying his short game. That's where he's going to get up and down and win the tournament, and he did. And he destroyed the Green Mile on Saturday, and he destroyed the back again on Sunday. So, but there was
I think
that
it's
one point where we all thought that, okay, here comes that little slump throughout the round on Sunday, where we have a different level, of course, but we're like, we have these good holes, and here comes our slump of a whatever. And then we come kind of wake up again towards the back. And that's exactly what he did. So I don't know.
you know why I got panicked. I haven't seen him win enough majors. Right? He's never won another major. He's only won a Masters. So like, if this was at Augusta, I'm probably not as panicked. But this is something different, and it's hard to win golf tournaments, right? Like Rahm could just have gone on fire, and Scottie then having to chase is maybe different and a little bit more pressure. So it was one of those things where like I was nervous because you haven't seen it a bunch. Like, he hasn't proven it. I think now you can be like, okay, he can do it. Like obviously we all know he can do it, but that's like the Tiger, right? Like I think the biggest shock on for me in Tiger's career is him losing to Y. Yang in the PGA Championship, because he'd never done that, right? Like you were convinced that he was going to win that, and he didn't. And so I think that's one of those things where like we're now getting to that level of Scottie being like, oh yeah, I trust you to close this out, like kind of thing. So
Even with the
I think,
left.
yeah, even
Even
with
with
the
the
left,
left.
right? Like you aim a little bit more right on the back nine instead of kind of
He
thing.
was
So
annoyed in the post interview with Amanda. He's like, "Yeah, the lefts."
Yeah.
yeah,
He blew
Yeah.
everybody away by 6 shots.
it's quite remarkable. I think he is like the modern day Arnold Palmer without endorsement deals yet. Like he swings his swing. He's very like into his faith and into the like his community and stuff like that, family. I think endorsements will come very soon for him. I mean,
Agreed.
obviously he's got Rolex and Nike, but there will be a lot more endorsements. I feel like very very soon for him, probably as well.
Well, because now the conversation is, hey, he's got 2 different majors. Where's the career grand? Now all of a sudden we're on career Grand Slam watch. Like it's
Yeah,
expected now that he's going to get a U.S. Open, that he's going to get an Open. And it's interesting that we talk about like him winning with the lefts and winning by that much. Do you guys think that photo they used in the winning ad was him hooking it?
it
Well,
definitely might have been.
that was a Saturday round, I think. Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
Saturday round.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Pull left.
I think let's talk about this right now. Let's give Nike their due props and shout out to those
Yeah.
at Nike Golf now. Turning the corner here and turning the course. I think they've nailed the last two, and I think this one is like, when you got people like friend of the program, Jack Slade and whatnot talking to that Nike Golf may be back. Yeah, maybe their copywriters are for sure, but I think we got some more stuff coming down the pipeline that's going to
And
be
Jordan Rogers. Also,
really
Jordan
good.
Yeah.
Rogers
Yeah,
giving props.
and I think when those things happen, it's great. I think he even harkened back to what happened last year at the PGA Championship, right? We know that he wore a little bit of orange this week in a practice round and on the Thursday round. Little, it could be more to his like Texas roots. Let's give him a little bit like more. Maybe it's both,
But
but
everybody had orange. I think they all
everyone
showed
had
up in
orange.
orange. Rory was in orange. He's in orange.
Brooks
And
was in
was it
orange.
Tony?
Brooks
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 was
was
in
in
orange.
orange.
Brooks was in orange. Tell me that wasn't script.
Tony actually had a ridiculously awesome blue, that baby blue with the
That's right.
white collar shirt, which hasn't been
Laser.
released yet, and I can't
The
wait for that
laser.
one. Yeah.
That is
So
your laser blue.
yeah.
Yep.
So, but I love this ad. I love just how they like came from the top rope. The verdict is in. There's a little bit of other subliminal messaging in this with his swing, the way that the club in his arms kind of see if you guys can notice that, if you're
Huh.
watching on YouTube and everything like that. I think there's something there, and
Well,
I think that makes him like the perfect Nike athlete. Almost like if you've seen like Tiger's swing, remember what Tiger's swing was traced and it made like
yep.
the swoosh.
Yep.
There's something in this as well that kind of
See a
makes a
little
swoosh.
upside down
So
swoosh there?
yeah, I like that.
I think I see that too.
So I think that's really fun. So that's why it's a really good photo for it. Obviously, people wanted some other photos like the orange or, but that is that's really well done. So well done, Nike. You got a good one.
Yep.
Now you can see there's a
No,
couple
no, 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 no,
comments
no, no.
here.
No, 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 no,
You got a
no, no, no,
great one.
no,
You
no.
got a great one. Yes.
Bingo.
Nope.
That's
That's true.
perfect. That's
Very
why
true.
you're here.
Now you can see. Yep.
And here I am, like I'm saying, like guys, why is football so popular in America? It's on a Sunday, and it becomes a religion in America. So what's happening when football's not on the air on a Sunday? What better stage for an athlete to shine than on CBS in a major, going up to 60 minutes? These are important athletes. Whatever you think of the sport and the demographics and whether it's shrinking or growing, please tell me that you are not turning a blind eye to what's going on with Brooks and with Rory and now with Scottie. This is 2 months of just must-watch TV on a Sunday night that is just thrilling. Whether it's because he's walking away and high-stepping into the end zone like Scottie Scheffler, or he's Rory overcoming all his demons at Augusta. This is epic TV. And it's just amazing to me that it's taken this long. And maybe this is the new leadership that's in place. Maybe this is Elliott Hill, because I saw Elliott Hill share this ad on his LinkedIn page earlier today, which means to me
Yep.
that I think golf is becoming a priority. I think when it comes to scripting, I didn't have an issue with everybody wearing orange. You know what I had an issue with? I don't think we need to go back to the days where Tiger was wearing tailored everything, but maybe a little bit of fit and finish on some of these. I think some of these polos could be a little bit better. And word on the
Rory
street is
looked,
that
not to interrupt, but Rory looked frumpy this tournament. Like his polos did not fit him as well as it did just like a month ago. Maybe he gained, maybe he lost, depending on the
yeah, maybe
win.
he went up a
Like I
size.
don't know, but like it did not. I looked at him on Thursday when, and just remember, all three in that group on 16 made double bogey with those
Yeah,
mud
that's right.
balls. Like,
Yep.
which again, like they hearken that like not many people make double bogey and win, but Rory made 4, 6 or whatever he made at the Masters and won. But I looked at him on Thursday and was like, that he doesn't like something's off. Like the hang
No.
on the shirt was just a little bit off. So maybe he just wasn't in his schmedium like he normally is. So, but yeah, just a little bit. But I think we're gonna get there. I do. I think we're gonna get there with
Yeah,
scripting.
just a touch of taper around the waist. I
Yeah,
don't know. It's not the usual Nike look. I gotta say, like this year has been surprising to me. I think that waffle polo, again, the one with the little squares on it, I think the fit on that one is phenomenal. I don't know why we don't see that on a final Sunday. We see this one with the white
he had it.
piping.
He had the waffle on Thursday. I think he had
Right.
it.
Yep.
You know which one I'm also curious we haven't seen like anyone wear is the POA, the POA. Like I
Right.
feel like no one's worn that, and I was like,
I
that's a
just
No.
saw it
great
on my
one.
local golf course. I
Yeah,
saw the pink one and well, they say it's pink. It's more peach than pink.
I have it.
I got
Yeah, I have the white. I have the white peach, and then I have the black, like which is nice.
that's a great one. Why are they not in that? I don't get it. Do you think
No,
they don't want to wear Prince on Sunday because it's too busy and it hides the
maybe,
swoosh? Do you guys think
but that
that?
one is but that one is
Uh,
so minimal. Like it really is. It's the same like sort of color on a lot of them. It's the same sort of color, just light or dark on that color. So like it doesn't take a lot away. It's a very like subtle print.
yeah.
I don't know.
You
Maybe
gotta.
people maybe they don't like it. Like maybe because it's too stretchy. Like
Yeah.
I like it because it's stretchy, but maybe I don't know. So
I was gonna. I was gonna say about the scripting is these scriptings are script months in advance, right? So
yeah,
those new polos, the POA ones, they could be for our next major coming up for the U.S. Open at Oakmont, right there.
Could be.
you can see
Maybe
some.
they've had shipping issues too, like the Victory Pro
Yeah.
4 sitting on
Yeah,
water.
yeah, Victory Pro 4, you can see that there's some comments in this thing if you're watching us on YouTube. Um, Release the shoe is maybe now trending from a certain friend of the program as well.
But he had
Release,
released the
release,
kicks.
release the kicks.
Release the kicks.
I,
So that
or should it be released the Scotty? Free
release
Scotty.
Free Scotty.
free Scotty.
Free Scotty
So
Pro 4.
I do think it's that Pro 4 it's the
I just
shoe.
realized.
It's almost like the shoe of the year right now with how much buzz plus how much like I mean, but they've also nailed it with these major releases for
Yeah.
for all of them, but mainly that shoe, and it's the one that you can't just like get. So
I just realized where all the Victory Pro 4s are, guys. They're still in the jail in Louisville. It's got to be it.
That's
gotta
it.
be it.
Let's go. We'll do the
It's
break in.
gotta be it. Man,
But
I just think it was a great PGA Championship. I think it was super fun to watch. I think the Golf Fast was looked really good. I think we can get into scripting. I think we might do a whole episode on scripting and some style coming up here soon, maybe in between the U.S. Open. But I think we got some good stuff coming out. U.S. Open onto Oakmont. We're pretty excited about some of that stuff. So stay tuned for some sneak previews there. I I thought Golf Fast was such a really fun pack. Some of the stuff that we saw at actual Oakmont that you could get was cool and whatnot. I think that's obviously done by the vendors through the PGA, and not Nike. So that's like the hard part of like, just a licensed vendor, which is awesome. And they did some good stuff, but we're, excited to kind of see what they come out with for the next pack. Little tease that I saw that's as part of this. I really want that Jordan bag for the Barcelona with a Barcelona print.
Right.
I don't know if you guys saw that. I just really want that.
So cool.
Random. It's really
Well,
so I'm really
it's like
intrigued
tee
to
up.
see what they could come up with, So
It's like our tee up episode. There's so many moments in Jordan's golf history that they could tap into, and then
yeah.
they released that. Obviously, like they had it designed,
Yeah.
a little bit. But and speaking of that, like guys, I think for those of you listening, products need lead time, right? Like you can't just come up with an idea for a company as big as Nike and that product comes out in 6 months. It doesn't work like that, right? So, leads to me the Jordan Barcelona bag that was in process. Also means to me that I think now that we're seeing like this better copy, we see the Rory Win ad, we see the Scottie Win ad. This means that I think there's new people in place that are trying to push Nike Golf into a better place than where they've been the last few years that we've been lamenting. So I can't wait to see them cook even more.
Yeah. Keith, your final thoughts on PGA at Quail Hollow?
I think it was a final great touch with the Nike ad from Nike Golf. It was great to see that. It just adds on to their, more controversial ones like back in the day, like Matt, how you brought up winning takes care of everything back in 2013. Oh,
Little
that
spicy.
was
Little
that
spicy.
was
It was
spicy.
great.
And this one was spicy, but with a cool little jab to it as
Yeah.
well. The
I'll admit it was
orange,
better than mine.
and you know me, I just agree on everything that anybody says. So, so world number
But
one, guilty. So, other
guilty.
than that, it was great to catch up with you guys. It was great to see the first two majors taken ownership by our Nike golfers. So it's great to see. Looking
Yeah,
forward to Oakmont and
are we
looking
on the
forward
verge of
to
2018 again, right here? A repeat of 2018.
ooh,
2018, just for you guys' refreshment, that was a Patrick Reed win at the Masters, Brooks Koepka win at the U.S. Open and PGA, and a
correct.
Molinari win wearing Nike at the British. So that was a Nike sweep. We called it the Summer of Nike. I did a graphic for Nike. I don't know if they ever used it. I think Sales used it, but yeah, I mean, we're halfway there, and I like our team. I like our roster. I like the way Tony played. I like the way Tommy played this
That's
tournament.
Yep.
right. Yep.
I think Rory will find that competitive edge again. I think this one was obviously a little bit different for him, the hangover. I think we saw this last year too. It's really hard to win the next major after you win another major.
Oh yeah.
Maybe responsibilities and stuff like that. Like saw that with Xander. He won the PGA, but then he won the British, and with that one off in between. We'll see what happens because it's really hard to go back to back. But
Yep.
I don't know. I like Scotty's chances at Oakmont, but man, I don't know who's going to win Oakmont because that thing's going to be a bloodbath. That score ain't going to get over par, so it's going to be real interesting to see what happens there.
300-yard par 3, I heard.
Yeah,
Oh,
the church views. Stay tuned
I'm hoping to be there.
us at the Swoosh-style podcast on Instagram and on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Don't shoot me.
It's called Twitter.
And Twitter X. Yeah, stay up for all those up-to-date content. We got cool stuff coming out. And U.S. Open is just around the corner. And then we'll talk to you very, very soon. So, for the Swoosh-style podcast, keep coming. See you in the next one. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode, go follow us at the Swoosh-style podcast on Instagram, where we have a lot more content. Watch us on YouTube at the Swoosh-style podcast. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, and make sure you keep listening to us on all the places that you can find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and more. We'll see you in the next one. This has been the Swoosh Life Podcast.
Check the silver stripes, yeah, that's what I like, yeah, that's what we like, yeah.